Rattle is brought to you by Bill Luke Dodge Chrysler Jeep. Now, here's your host, saltwater fisherman and tournament pro, Don McDowell.
Yeah, man. Hey, I'm Don McDowell. Welcome to the Sunday edition of Shake, Rattle, and Troll. We are rolling today in the house with us, preparing for his elk hunt.
God, I love the way that sounds.
You know, I wasn't going to say that today because that's all I heard yesterday from Chief Cantrell. You know, John's got an elk tag. Yeah, thanks, Chris. JK's in the house, and we have another special, very special guest, the Princess of Poppers, making a cameo appearance before she heads to the U.S. Open at downtown Lake Mead, Jennifer Duff.
Good morning.
Yeah, what's happening?
I am on my way on the road, stopping by to say hello on the way to the U.S. Open. And this
I only have one thing to say: you both suck. You know, yeah, you're going to the Open. You're going elk hunting.
Somebody's got to man the house.
Going to Albuquerque.
We're living the dream.
Nice. How many pros do you have in the hunt, Jennifer?
We have 8 guys out on the water, popping away. Rick Clunn, he's been doing very well on top water this year. Very excited for him. I would love to see him win. You know, it's time again. Mike Folkstad, always tough out on the water. Johnny Johnson, he was really strong last year and always good for a laugh.
Yeah.
I don't even want to go that way.
Yeah,
he has his new debut color out.
You're going to tell us the color, aren't you?
Yeah, Johnny's Formula.
Yeah, Johnny's Formula.
It sounds like a race car driver, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Andy Manal is going to be out there. Jeff Klicka, Garrett Lorenzen, George Kramer.
Go, George.
Yeah, and Carson Sims, the young guy.
Nice. You've also have Bill Ruley up there. He's been outfitted with the product, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, surreptitiously.
Couple of particular Labina Rio Ricos.
Yep.
Yeah, and what's interesting, John, up on our website is the pros and their picks.
Oh.
They're big enough boys to let the cat out of the bag right off the bat, so if anybody's paying attention, that's what you're up against. And it's going to be tough.
I've been getting some photos on these lures, too, this week.
Uh-huh.
The guys are out there pre-fishing.
Well, let's take it from the top. What's Rick fishing with?
Well, Rick's staple that he's always fished with since day one is Cisco. It's IU color, and he swears by that color. He loves it. Although he did ask, should I tell, for some holographic shad to be delivered.
Think?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's on his way to him. He has one, and he's a little nervous. He wants another one. Make sure.
Don't want to lose it.
Make
nice.
sure. Mike Folkstad, he fishes the Klicka shad, the holographic shad. He likes those, the holographic foils on the lures. Johnny Johnson, of course, he's into the Johnny's Formula, which is...
what that reminds me of is a Dorado bait.
Yeah, it's
it
a
really
chartreuse
does,
blue, and it has, yeah.
You know where that's going to be just a killer lures on Roosevelt.
And that's probably what he designed it for.
Yeah,
that's his.
Because that mimics the Excalibur.
Mm-hmm,
Spook.
Mm-hmm. It's a cool
spook.
It's clear and it has the purple beads in it. Well, they're the weights, so it emulates a bait fish. You can kind of see.
I'm telling you, gee, what a wonderful thought.
You guys are in your own little world right now.
Yeah.
It's what I love talking about.
Well, here's one for you. I spent some time with TJ Stalling on the buffet rig, and we started talking about colors, and as Jennifer and I have, and the next thing I know, there is a white clear with silver fleck and a lavender back on a chartreuse head. Go figure. I had one. I gave it to Bill Ruley. So, anyway, okay. What's Andy throwing? G.
Well, I wonder.
Gee, I wonder.
Manal's RX. Jeff Klicka, of course, loves the Klicka shad, which is like the holographic, but it has more of a purplish back. That has been a very hot color last year, and continues to be a very hot color. Purple. Probably overall, the number one color has the purple and the holographic shad. Mm-hmm. Garrett has Garrett's Gill. It's a bluegill color on a clear body. George Kramer loves your color, the hammer shad.
Go George, man. We're rooting for him and Ruley.
I get photos from him all the time where they're ripping it up, and so that's his confidence color. And Carson Sims, he likes the Suave, and Carson's a tilapia color. And his dad has been out on the water. He's in school this past week, flying in today, and his dad has been ripping it up on that color.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
I have one of those. I haven't thrown it yet, but I am definitely looking forward to that. Okay, here's a really loaded question. Out of your 8 guys, how are you going to rate their finish?
You put me on the spot. I was going to do that. Well, Rick is my favorite guy out there. He endorses the product. I've known him a long time. He encouraged me to get in fishing, which led to a journey in the business and such. And I admire him, respect him so much. And he has definitely the skills. He's won the U.S. Open before. He's tremendous. I would love to see him win it again. So I'm
just so you'll know, he's like the grandfather of bass fishing.
Ooh.
He's like the god of bass fishing. I shouldn't have any disrespect about that, but I mean, he just has his.
No disrespect. I understand what you're trying to convey.
Yeah.
You get it.
But like around bass fishing.
Well, talking with Bill, last year, I don't remember where he finished, but his whole big thing is, wow, I beat Rick Clunn. I go, nice.
Yeah, that's kind of the mark. Everybody kind of says where they are.
Yeah, it's not whether you win, lose, or draw. It's like who are you going to finish in front of. Yeah, good stuff.
No, he's a legend, definitely. So I'd love to see him win. Mike Folkstad, he's always strong. He's won the U.S. Open before. Certainly has it in him. All the other, who knows? All the other guys have a great shot. It's just a matter of, getting in the weight. The numbers are there, it sounds like, but it's just the key of getting in the weight.
What I've heard, of course, about, I'd say probably 75% of it's dock talk to this point, but it seems like most guys I've talked to are on fish. Some are making short runs, some are making really long runs. I think really got stuck yesterday in a squall that blew through there, and they had to wait about an hour before they just finally said, all right, this thing's not moving, we got to go.
Yeah.
So they were slugging it out in a 21-foot beeline.
And you say it's going to rain this week, so
it is.
It's going to be
I checked it on the way down, and they're predicting 4 days of rain.
Serious?
Yeah. It depends on how much wind's associated with it. That's the key on mead. If it's blowing, you're going to get a spanking. Because mead can go from light chop to 8-foot rollers in no time.
That'll keep the guys a little bit more local with the threat of the storm.
Absolutely.
So I think you won't see the long runs, but I don't think it's going to be that necessary. I think there's plenty of fish. It's just finding the key locations at the right time, and I think with overcast, it's going to keep them shallow, top water, spinner baits. You can get some kicker fish probably on a jig.
Well, Carson may be onto something with that Suave. That's a pretty shallow runner. It's more of an aggravator bait, John, because it'll suspend and you do a jerk pause,
and then
bam, yeah,
it's walking the dog.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, well, we're going to talk to Andy McDowell about the 815 and talk to Ruley, and Dwayne Myrup's always done well on the AAA side. Dwayne's in the hunt with Ruley, so we'll figure out what those guys are doing. Any guess on how many pounds a day it's going to take to win?
Last year it took about 32 pounds. I don't remember the exact weight. It's 32 something. It's probably going to take that again, maybe even a little bit more shy, because I think the weight's
I'm thinking
right there.
probably 12 to 14 pounds a day.
You think 12 to 14?
If I could be all wet with this rain, but what I'm looking at is a constant overcast, I believe with the water temperature, the fish are going to be up shallow. Mm-hmm. Because right now what's going to happen is they're going to get a reprieve from the heat.
Yeah, it's been.
And it's been nasty for yesterday, so my guess is they'll probably move up just a little bit. And what I'm hoping is the maybe some bigger fish, 3 to 5 pound range, wolf packing. Mm-hmm. And my guess to Bill was find a rocky shallow cove with grass on the shallow end, go to work.
If they're running like that, the Suave is going to be key for them, because you can get the casting, and if it's walking the dog, it's more subtle than a spook. I mean, it has that different little splash on it. It'll do well.
How much in your baits? How much is noise a factor in your mind? It's just got such a unique spit.
I think it's the action, the water displacement. I don't think sound has anything to do with it, and I really think... The
reason I asked, there's a definite sound to a Rico. When you pull it and pop it, it spits.
Spits.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't pop, it spits. And that's the difference.
This is fascinating watching you two. You know that.
No, but
this is the most animated woman I've ever seen in the whole time I've been alive regarding fishing. She gets it. Oh, yeah. This is like a woman at Saks Fifth Avenue on a Friday afternoon where they go 2-for-1 sale. She's freaking out. She's having a ball. This is fascinating to watch.
And I used to be in the fashion business at a high-end department store. I used to be a buyer, and then I got into fishing. So I always thought I wear cool clothes and always have pictures of fish and lures on my phone. So, I mean, come on.
She's got 8 men in the hunt. Wow.
Yep. Okay.
All right. Hey, we're going to stand down. Thanks to some of our sponsors. I'm Don McDowell here with
Jennifer Duff
and
JK.
We'll be right back. All righty, speaking of the lights of Vegas, that's where all the boys are hanging out.
Ooh, nice segue.
Boulder Station.
Boulder Station, where is going on?
Yeah.
Fact with Fishermen, come on.
Yeah, boy. Jennifer, I know you got to go, but let me pick your brain for just a second. You and I have talked extensively on the use of feathers, black, white, and chartreuse. What are your pros picks?
They're going with the white feathers. Now, the guys, some of them are very adamant about the color of the thread.
I am.
The feather having the black thread and having that contrast there.
Yep.
We typically do the red thread, but we, on like the hammer shad, we have the black thread. And
here's my theory on that: black to red, you're dead. Okay. Applies to coral snakes as well.
Yeah, thank you. That's where I've heard.
Yeah. It's a good theory in Alabama.
Oh, all right.
But we have some of our lures that have black feathers, so I think it's a matter of contrast and what emulates the bait fish and the water clarity and the bait fish such.
Well, it's one of the cool things about shopping online at Labina Lures. You can fine-tune your Rico or Rio Rico, whatever the case is, with the color of the feather. Pick your thread. It's important, really important.
And we're glad to change out. If we have our standard that comes with the lure that's selected,
mm-hmm.
But if you decide you want a black feather with a clear Rico, we'll do it.
Nice. Clear.
I know, that's...
Clear.
Yeah.
John, clear.
Okay,
clear.
Okay. I'm just thrilled that hunting doesn't have that.
A wild combination, but...
Do you know, I've sat here now for a year plus. I can't tell you how expensive everything you talk about means to me. If I had to worry about fletching colors on my bow...
You should.
No, not happening.
You don't have the lighted nocks?
No, John. I do not. No, don't need it. No, I'm not going to go there. No. But every lure has a potential for a myriad of colors. You and I know colors because I'm in the printing industry.
It makes a good business.
Okay. And you're adamant about some of your color combinations.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just fascinated by it.
Or here's what will goof your mind up, or the lack of it.
Oh, the clear?
Yeah.
There's
such a thing as going down and buying a $25 DD22, taking it home and rubbing all the paint off with nail polish, because it's clear, and throwing a clear crankbait. Clear. No
okay,
fun.
okay.
Clear.
Okay, we know I'm a novice. Cast in stone. Here's my question. You're trolling, you're casting, retrieve, cast, retrieve. You know how we are.
Chuck and wind.
Yes.
Yep.
You pass a bass that looks at it, says, wrong color. Eventually you go to another color. But you're in a different area. That bass isn't there. I mean, you would have to cast 1,700 times past the same bass to see if you get the right color combination, or am I wrong?
Whether they strike is just instantaneous. It's a split second. And you have to capture that instinct for them to, and if it's not catching, the color or what they're feeding on, because they're reacting
like that
so fast. And if they're thinking about it, they're not going to hit it. They might follow it.
It's called reaction strike for a reason.
Okay. And you're telling me they're going to tell the difference between black thread and green thread?
It's going to cause
on a feather?
A reaction.
Really?
I mean, yeah, it's just that reflex you're going for.
Here's my thought on it. The way the Rico sits in the water, it's tail down. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you look at a forage fish, and this is, I think, one of the reasons why the holographic shad is such a productive bait. It's got a black back, silver belly size, if you will, and you put and here's where I'm going to get anal. The white feather, I use a black feather, because if you look at a forage fish, it's got a black tail.
Oh.
Period. If they're keying on...
And who's buying all the white feathered lures?
They work. I mean, it's they work. And I prefer having a feather. If I can't have a black one, I'll have a white one. But I may change the thread, because I'm really hung up on either a chartreuse and white, or a black and red thread, or a white feather with red thread.
This is just fascinating.
And it's also, the fish are under the water. This is top water. They're looking up. So
right.
you got to think about what
light refraction.
Yeah, and the reflection, the sky, and the sunlight, and the amount of light penetrating, the clarity of the water, the forage. All these things are affecting how they're seeing that bait.
I just love this.
You take a look at a spinner bait.
Oh, yeah.
And you've got it in your hand, and you look at it, you go, why in the world would a fish eat that? It doesn't look like anything that I know. But you get below it and have somebody bring it across to you.
In the funnel that it creates as it's going through the water.
It's going to emulate a little pack of shad going by. And you're going to have the water dispersion. You may have some noise or not, depending on the bait. And then you're going to have trailers and feathers and all sorts of little 3D eyes going on. And that's another thing on the Ricos is the 3D eyes. That's a have to.
Among animals, as you well know, the eye contact, even if you want to be aggressive towards another, straight in the eye, right? So the eye contact is very important.
It is. And, we even go that far over on the ocean, and in the ocean, predators are
even worse.
They're more aggressive, but 9 out of 10 times, if you throw like a 3/4 ounce slide bait, you've got two choices over there: either a natural, the silver and black pupil eye, or a red with black. They're going to eat the first one, the clear one.
Really?
Yeah. That's not to say they won't hit the red eye, but 9 out of 10 times, I mean, if they've got a choice,
that's where they're going to hammer.
I've done it for years and years and years, because you run out of stuff, and you just go, damn, I don't want to throw this red eye one, but you end up throwing it anyway, and you throw it and throw it and throw it. You're going to get bit,
but not nearly as much.
So, what's your line choice on throwing your Ricos?
I'm old school because I know how they're competing right now, but I still, when I fish, I use a heavy monofilament. I like a little bit of a stretch. I use a 15, 17 pound. It's more buoyant. Some of the guys out there like to use the braids. I don't know. I think
that's kind of what you were raised on.
Yeah, I'm not into braid. I have the old school thought: if you have treble hooks, I want a little bit of give. But I know there's guys out there that use braid on top water.
Yeah, Yeah.
Braid doesn't have any give at all.
I love braid on top water. Yeah.
So.
But we'll get into that later. You have to tune your rod to your line and your bait, so you don't throw a stiff stick with braid.
That's true.
You have something.
Yeah, you'll rip their lips off.
Right, have a soft tip.
Yeah. Jennifer, I want to thank you for coming down and give all the guys our best wishes, man. You got some good guys up there.
You're going to have some fun.
Yes, I'll be posting things on Facebook. They'll have a live video feed on onebass.com.
Woohoo!
And we'll see how it all shakes out by next Sunday.
All right. Hey, we'll plan on doing a follow-up with you. Check them out, LabinaLures.com. 8 in the Hunt. We'll be back.
Cricket singing in the background.
24 hours in the day.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's where the boys are, downtown Las Vegas. We've got Brother Bill Ruley joining us from the Boulder Station, I believe. Brother Bill, what's happening?
Dodging raindrops, Don. It's crazy wet.
Wet's a good thing.
Oh, you know what? It's like a fog out here, and it's raining. And
nice.
I think top water is going to be off the hook, but I just, if it stays like it is, a steady little drizzle and this cloud cover, I think it's going to be really a good tournament this year.
Yeah,
anyway,
drive
how
Jennifer
you guys
nuts.
doing?
Well, we're good. We just had
Miss Jennifer Duff in here from Labina Lures. She's headed up to your 20 up there. I've got an awful lot of guys, 8 Labina pros, and she's kind of let the cat out of the bag. She's got the guys up with their topwater pick, and I know you're loaded up, so.
Yeah, thanks to her and you.
yeah, it's all good stuff. What's your prognosis for patterns? Don't give anything away, but
I think, honestly, Don, I think it's going to be a topwater bite this whole tournament. But Lake Mead, it changes hour to hour, and the big thing is you got to be able to adapt. This rain came in, and for Friday we had hellacious winds, probably 40, 45 mile an hour winds on us.
What was the wave height out there?
Oh, I'd say probably at least 10 foot.
Nice.
9 to 10 foot
waves?
We're not joking.
Oh, you go through those basins, it's worse than being in the ocean. We were spearing them. Half the time we were looking at the bow of the trolling motor over our heads. It was crazy getting back in. We even held off probably about an hour trying to wait for the storm to blow through, but it just kind of just stagnated right there, and the rain shafts were coming down, lightning, and finally we just said, hey, we got to get back, and we put the pedal to the metal as fast as we could to get through there. But
it's not for the weak of heart.
No, nor the weak of stomach.
No.
I was Fort Dwayne. He's hanging on, and white knuckling all the way.
Yeah, buddy.
He's like, my boat.
Yeah. Joining B-25 bombers down in the bottom.
But and it's the U.S. Open. I've already heard some drama, and I'm not going to mention any names. But one of the Arizona boys, he was in top 5 last year, and I ran into him at the gas station. We were talking. He says, "Hey, Bill, I consider you a really good friend, and I'd like to ask you a question." And he says, "I got a call from another pro last night." And he said him and one other pro had found this spot, and you were fishing pre-fishing on it. And he says, that is our spot. And I told him, I says, look, I said, if you pre-fished it, you found it, you didn't follow them there. I said, you got just as much right to fish that spot as they do.
It's whoever gets there first. That's why.
Are you telling me they tried to tell him to get off?
John, welcome to the drama of NASCAR and bass fishing.
You can't tell anybody on a lake. Oh, come on.
Well, Don hit a nail on the head. It's like first come, first served. But you get a better boat number and you beat them there, that's your water.
Yeah, too bad.
And there's an approachment. I'm not sure what it is, but
like you, I've had unnamed pros that have retired now that live in Payson that used to drive for Yamaha come up and go, "That's my spot." I'm going, "Really? I didn't know they changed the name of the lake to
Lake such and such."
Yeah, Lake Mark, let's say.
Oh no.
Yeah, and the other thing, Bill, that'll really scatter their mind is get a water bottle, fill it full of water, tie it to a rope, throw it overboard. They got to stay 50 yards away from you because you're an anchored vessel now.
Really? That's right.
Bingo. Oh yeah. And if they come in, file a protest.
Yeah.
DQ,
Well,
DQ.
I told them, it's like, I mean, you work your butt off. You're up here for 3 or 4 days pre-fishing this thing, and you find some tiny holes, and nobody could tell you, And now, if you follow one guy around all day and just say, "Hey, looks like he's over there doing, found a good spot," follow him in.
Personally, my pre-fishing would be following Rick Klund and Mark Falstaff.
Yeah, the odds are pretty good. You're going to find fish sooner or later.
Yeah, ran into Andy Manal on the water Friday or Thursday. No, Friday. My days are all mixed up. I'm sorry.
The only thing you need to know is you start fishing for money tomorrow. That's it.
Yeah, thought process right there. Money Monday.
Don't care what name of the day is. We're going to talk to Andy about a half hour. How's he faring?
He's doing all right. I passed him on going through the basin in that storm. I was like, I'm sorry, Andy, I can't wait for you.
I got to go.
Yeah, he left before me, and I got back way before him. Andy's a good stick and nice guy, and I hope he comes in, in the top 6 because I plan on being in the top 5. So.
Yeah, nice. You gotta love it.
Yeah, what? This is kind of fun. I mean, watching pumped up little Jennifer over here, and then listening to Bill. This is like top of the world.
Oh yeah. Well, here's the cool part with the Labina guys. Yeah, they're all good friends.
Yeah.
But as soon as the green flag
goes down,
drops, I'm going to rub fenders with you. Woohoo! Rubbin's racing, and
that's true.
That's what we do.
Yeah. Well, we kind of beat the crap out of the boat coming back. I mean, we had some overheating problems yesterday. Pin fell out of the trolling motor. The skag plate fell off the boat.
I'm telling you, John.
That Mercury guy was awesome. Even though we're running a Yamaha, he had one that would fit. We put it on, and it just those guys are awesome.
Is Mercury got a factory trailer up there?
Yeah. The only thing they don't have on is power heads. They have a smaller trailer this year than they did last year. But
what about Yamaha? Where's Yamaha? Are they not there?
I don't see anybody. Nobody from Minn Kota, and it used to be years ago. It used to be a lot better. They bring in semis. When Mercury came in, they brought semis had complete engines in it. And they'd help you out. But anyway, I was looking at the Z8 nitros they're giving away. It's red, white, and blue. It's real patriotic, really good looking boat.
Yeah.
So I hope I'll be dragging that back with me.
Well, how's Dwayne doing?
He's right here. You want to say hi to him?
Absolutely, I do.
Okay, hang on.
Coming to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, Dwayne Myra from downtown California.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, man. Welcome back to the desert, Dwayne. How are you, man?
Sure. I'm great. I'm excited. Can't wait till tomorrow.
I have to ask you one thing. Did you go to therapy before you gave Bill your boat?
I'm going to therapy. Yes, I did, and I'm going to therapy afterwards as well.
Yeah, probably to the boat shop. God love you.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, cool. How are you stacking up? Do you have your head in the game? Are you ready to go?
I have my head in the game. I love this lake, and like Bill said, it's a topwater lake, and it changes from day to day, but I'm pretty confident in what I'm doing out there.
Well, you've always been a big threat up there on the AAA side, and John, just so you'll know, Dwayne is a master at fishing from the back of the boat.
Oh,
and it's difficult. because your pro's got fresh, clean water, has the pick of the cast, and you're kind of wiping up the rear, so to speak. And
that's right.
I always figured that as a benefit, though, because if they didn't hit the first pass, sometimes they do that second strike.
Yes, sir.
That's true.
Exactly. That's true. That's absolutely true.
All right. I don't want you to give any secrets away, but what are you planning?
Oh, I'm concentrating on drop shot and top water.
Okay.
And it depends what the pro wants me to do. I do that too, and I've had good luck with my pros in the last 6 years, and they've always worked with me, and I worked with them, and always had a good teammate.
Well, I think the key to it's getting a good pro draw.
Oh, yes.
You don't know your draw until the day of?
We'll find out tonight.
Yeah. What time's your pairing meeting?
I think 6 o'clock.
Okay. Well, one of you guys give me a call and let me know how it's going to sort out.
I sure will. I appreciate you putting me on the air, and God bless you, Don. I love you, man.
Yeah, and, I'm gonna try to get out of here. Maybe come up Tuesday or Wednesday morning and congratulate you on your wins.
There you go.
Hey, nice.
I hope to see you here, bud. I certainly do.
All right, Dwayne. Best of luck to you and Brother Bill. Make him share the top water baits. He's got the best of the pick.
The pick of the litter
in his tackle bag.
Yes, he does.
All righty. God bless you guys. You guys be safe out there, and man, I hope your boat makes it. Whew. That's scary.
I hope so too. But
all right.
All right.
All right. We got Bill Ruley and Dwayne Myrup, Matt Shura, Johnny Johnson, a bunch of other guys from Phoenix up there competing in the U.S. Open. I'm Don McDowell here with
JK.
Oh, that's right. You've got an elk tag.
Yes, I do.
Nice.
My heart is pounding deep inside.
All righty, we're back. Some of the other guys that we've got from Arizona, we've got a couple of the nation's best anglers working on Lake Mead is Clifford Perch, 2-time winner.
I like Clifford.
Our bass professor, John Murray.
Oh, yes.
Working. Matt Shura, Johnny Johnson. Paul Hodges, I talked to Paul Hodges Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the hunt, and Paul's. All of these guys are good sticking, and I haven't looked at the roster. I know there's a bunch more guys from Arizona that are going to be competing up there, and it's like Bill was talking about. There's always a head game going on. The guys
absolutely.
are trying to get in your head, and
I'm just fascinated by the don't fish on my spot. And you're talking to like how big?
It's huge.
Yeah. 500 miles.
Well, that's the deal, and that's the hard part. Fishing with some of these guys, I'm not going to name names, but
rhymes with
Schattenberg. Let's say, if you fish with Sam, you can't ever go to that spot again by yourself because those were Sam's spots.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. So, it's part of it. Yeah, and a lot of us respect it or not.
And wait a minute. I can respect if somebody takes you to a secret spot, one spot, and says, "Don't ever come here again. I'm going to take you, clarify it prior, and you tell nobody. You show up here never again."
Okay, well
that's a deal.
That's a deal. But
yeah, you can't take.
You fish with them all year. You have to retire because you can't go on the lake anymore.
You're right. And by the way, I have to tell you, between you, Jennifer, Bill, and everybody we've talked to today, this is contagious. This is pumped feeling.
This is
kind of cool.
This is a disease. It's as bad as elk hunting with a bow.
Yeah. Which I'll be doing. I'll miss you next Sunday, Don.
I may just put it on rerun and go to California.
Oh, wouldn't that be cool?
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking that.
You go to California and go tuna fishing, and I'm elk hunting, and I'm going to beat the crap out of you.
Well, we'll call it turf and surf.
Okay. Maybe. I'll wait a minute. I want the experience of going out. You know that.
I get it.
Okay. So you can't go without me. Is that like a naggy way?
I'm going to sit here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday thinking about you with a tag in 3A, 3C, working in the woods. I'm going to sit here and just mind blast that for 3 days. I don't think so, Tim.
I don't think so either.
Not.
However, after my boys are gone,
back at the range,
you're up with me.
All right. Well, let me give you a clue what's going on over in the saltwater side of life.
Oh, there we go.
This is yesterday's day and a half boat dock totals. This is weird. They only had 3 boats out.
Really?
They had a total of 20 anglers. They ended up with an average of 7.05 fish per stick. They had
140 some fish.
100 yellowtail, 26 Dorado, which is table fare, doesn't get any better than that, except for maybe a wahoo. 9 bluefin tuna, and the yellowfins are in. They had 6 of those, and that's a day and a half boat. So they're a little bit further now. The day boats, they had 6 boats out, 176 anglers.
Ooh, so like an average of 30 per boat.
Okay. 618 yellowtail. 18 bluefin. 11 Dorado. And 30 yellowfin tuna.
Bluefin are going away, aren't they? Going further and further away.
But see, that's the migratory pattern. The yellowtail are holding, and I'm not sure what to attribute that to. They're there, yippee. I mean, that's a good thing. But they come in first. The albacore come in behind them. The albacore came and left. Boom. I mean, they weren't there for 2 weeks, and they decided to move on. The bluefin historically come in behind them. Mm-hmm. And they did, and they're staying. What happens next is the yellowfin come in behind the bluefin. Okay, so it's like a progression of what's next are called the big eyes. These are like yellowfin on steroid, and they've got an eye about the size of a golf ball. They're huge. They're huge tunas, and they'll get up in the 250-pound class.
They're coming next?
Yeah, they're in behind it. They normally don't come in waves of massive schools like the other fish do, but they're there. And that's a cool part about fishing in the ocean. You may be in a bluefin bite, and then the next thing you know, you've got yellowfin, you've got yellowtail, just a mishmash of fish. Mm-hmm. And it's a challenge. You never know what you're going to catch. You think you got it all figured out, and let's say you're fishing, for 25 to 35 pound class fish. The next thing you know, those yellows may be, 65 to 100 pound class, and then you're outclassed because you've got light line and light gear and
they rip it off.
Gone. It's not uncommon to get spooled. On 30.
Oh, that would be depressing.
It is depressing. We had an occasion down at Laos Rocks, which is a 455-mile run out of San Diego. It's about 150 miles off the Baja Peninsula. And we were hooked up into 300 to 400 pound class bluefins. And my first hookup was on 80-pound test on a trolling rig, and went clear to the end. Snap. And you just stand there in awe. I mean, there's not a damn thing you can do.
No.
And, you're
would have loved to have seen the fish.
Hollering at the deckhand to pour water or pour a can of beer on your reel to cool the gears down. Game's over. So, it's, you got to be on your game. Most definitely. You can land the big fish, but boy, I mean, you got to fight them. You really got to fight them. You got to watch your drag, tension.
Yeah, that was my question. Can you wear them out with the drag set?
You can.
But then you run the danger of breaking the line anyhow, or snapping the rod, right?
I don't worry too much about rod snap. Seen it happen, most definitely, but that's usually inferior rods, and don't really pay too much attention to that. But one thing I want to get back to before we do roll call, what Jennifer's talking, using monofilament on a topwater, they historically between 14 to 20 pound monofilament on a stiff rod, that's fine because the line has stretch in it.
Right.
Okay. It's about a 10% stretch. Braid, 0 to maybe 2% stretch.
I was going to say that braid is not normal.
No,
it's a stretch.
It's zero stretch, and that's kind of why I like it, because especially on top water, they'll hang themselves. If they bite it,
they're gone.
Yeah. So we need to get into roll call this week for September the 8th. We've lost 3 soldiers this week, paid the price for our freedom. God bless them and their family and their units. And the first soldier was Army First Lieutenant Jason Togi, died August 26, 13, serving during Operation Enduring Freedom. 24 years old, of Pago Pago, American Samoa. Was assigned to the 2nd Brigade Special Troops Battalion, 2nd Brigade Combat Team, 1st Cavalry Division out of Fort Hood, Texas. Died on the 26th in Hassan Kariz, Afghanistan, of injuries caused by an improvised explosive device.
Army Staff Sergeant Michael H. Hollis died August 28, 2013, serving during Operation Enduring Freedom. He was 24 years old, of Staten Island, New York. He was assigned to the 2nd Battalion, 22nd Infantry Regiment, 1st Brigade Combat Team, 10th Mountain Division, out of Fort Drum, New York. He was in Ghazni Province, Afghanistan, and he died of wounds caused by an improvised explosive device, small arms fire, and indirect fire.
This next soldier, these are historically known as the Bad Boys. Army Staff Sergeant Joshua Bowen died August 31st, serving during Operation Enduring Freedom. 28 years old, of Villa Rica, Georgia, assigned to the 242nd Ordnance Battalion. It's called EOD. 71st Ordnance Group out of Fort Carson, Colorado. Gave it up on the 31st of August in Ghazni, Afghanistan, of injuries sustained when enemy forces attacked his unit with small arms fire. That's it this week. Give them your thoughts, your prayers, and certainly goes out to the family and the units. Folks, it's a terrible price to pay.
On the angel flight is sacred ground. When I fly that plane, call the angel flight.
It's time for Shake, Rattle, and Troll, a show for the serious fishermen, as well as the novice looking for tips from the pros. Shake, Rattle, and Troll is brought to you by Bill Luke Dodge Chrysler Jeep. Now, here's your host, saltwater fisherman and tournament pro, Don McDowell.
All righty, we're back. Welcome to the second hour of Shake, Rattle, and Troll. If you just joined us, we're talking about all the guys up in Lake Mead getting ready for the Open tomorrow. Any thoughts from your vantage point?
Yeah, for me, it's fascinating to watch the logic, and as you call it, the head games that go on.
Ooh.
More important though is the based on the weather patterns and based on the rain and the overcast. I mean, Jennifer was just about jumping out of her seat here because top water.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. I mean, based on the limited knowledge that I have, I know that's you get that cloud cover and what I call stagnant air. It's like boom.
It's like hunting. If you had to pick a day.
Oh, I'd be out there today.
Overcast.
Yep.
A little bit of wind.
Light.
A little bit of drizzle.
Yep.
Game is on.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, the aminals are out moving around, and the fish do the same thing. I mean, I really draw a close analogy to bow hunting, to fishing. Same thing applies. You start to get into the science of colors.
That fascinates me to no end.
John, it goes deeper than the lures and your line. Your line color is a big deal. That's one of the reasons fluorocarbon is so popular. It's virtually invisible, let's say.
And that's a key. I knew that.
Yeah, absolutely. But Bill and I had a long conversation. There's always been a big controversy on the color of the bottom of your boat.
Really?
Yeah. I much prefer a black bottom versus a white bottom or another color bottom. If you have a gray boat, you're going to have a gray bottom. Generally, you're going to be tooling around in a white bottom boat. Dark colors. I've had situations with Kim Carter. Kim and I fished a tournament series a couple of years ago, and let's say you hook a mad, mean smallie.
Okay.
He gets underneath the boat, underneath the black bottom, calms down.
Really?
Yeah. To them, it means shade.
Shade, okay.
White bottom boat means, I'm going to the light, Louis. Okay.
Going to the light.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I understand that.
And then you get into your fishing apparel. Let's say you're out there on a...
By the way, I've seen a whole lot of fishermen that are worst dressed people I've ever known in my life.
Absolutely true. But what we sent Bill off with, him and Dwayne, are this baby blue.
Cloud. Sky cover.
Sky. Yep. We had the discussion. Don't wear a red shirt. Don't wear something really gaudy and loud. Stay with your earth tones and your sky colors. Wear a light, today would be perfect for the light gray.
Light gray, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely would. Because, if you can see the fish, guess what?
They can see you. No question.
It's like being a soldier. Yeah, I can see my enemy. Well, guess what? They're looking at you, too.
Yep.
Yeah, let's hope it's not through the crosshairs.
Exactly.
Same thing. So that whole mindset, you start getting into the science of fishing, bass fishing. It doesn't necessarily apply to, catfishing or stuff that you're, fishing 20,
that's
25
bottom
feet.
feeder.
Yeah, that's bottom stuff. And to a certain extent, you'll see the guys, let's pick a place, the Florida Flats.
Okay. Yeah.
Very, very key down on colors. Light baby blue, white shirts.
Sure, cloud cover, puffy white clouds with the blue sky.
Yeah. So, and I've, been in a lot of arguments on, friendly arguments on colors of the bottom of your boat. And without a doubt, I really prefer black bottom boat, dark gray, black.
Now I understand why.
It's just weird. And
Smalley in particular, just nasty. I mean,
they got a bad attitude.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. I love it.
Fishing some of the more clear lakes, Pleasance around here is pretty clear due to the quagga mussels. But my first bass boat had a black bottom. The next boat I had a white bottom. And fishing the same spots, the same stuff. The nitro with the black bottom caught more fish than the javelin with the white bottom.
Did you ever think of spray painting the bottom after that?
I traded it.
Really?
Yep, went down the road, got another one. So it's just, Bill's fishing jersey is blue. If he's fishing in that, and I can't imagine why they would, but, you save your jersey for when you're going to the scales.
I'm really, really hoping that the Arizona contingent does really, really well.
They will.
I thought they might. From everything I'm hearing now, if you can learn to fish bass in Arizona, you can fish anywhere in the universe.
Well, you look at Clifford Perch, John Murray, they're competing on a national scale. The Elite 50, the FLW Big Stick Tours, they do well. And all the Western pros, you got to watch out. I'm serious. You're fishing against any of those guys anywhere in the country, they're definitely threats.
I think it's more, based on what I know Arizona's lakes, and I know how little cover there is and how little of anything structure-wise there is. Basically we have big impoundments and it's rocky bottoms. But I think the Arizona anglers have learned that you have to pay more attention to detail. And the subtle details are what can really make a difference between a paycheck and no paycheck.
Absolutely. Yeah, the drop shot techniques, depending on who you believe, I think they, I choose to believe they were originated in Japan.
Drop shot?
Yeah. A lot of the more finesse techniques came from there, and it's kind of interesting. We started drop shotting here 2 years before it really kicked off in the East, and then when you get back to places like Dardanelle,
where's that?
Arkansas.
Oh, Arkansas.
Russellville, Arkansas. Neely Henry and some of the others, you're drop shotting with 17 to 20 pound test line. They call it Bubba shot.
Bubba shot.
Bubba shot. Yeah, yeah. We're using little bitty hooks, and they're using 1 to 4 aught hooks and 10-inch worms, drop shot, and throw them right in the weeds, shake them, and boom, hang on. So it's just, that the whole development, and again, water clarity, structure, fishing back in, let's say, Alabama, Louisiana, some of those other places like that, they have so much aquatic vegetation.
Yeah.
We don't have lily pads as a rule.
I remember, I used to fish bass fishing. I used to do a lot of bass fishing when I lived back in Michigan, and that's, like centuries ago. But then I learned, the edge of the vegetation was always where I would try and...
Ambush points.
Exactly. I learned structure. I learned watching where the vegetation dropped off, where the cover was under the lily pads. For me, back in those days, I would love to go out at night and the old the wobblers that we'd put out right on the top of the lily pads and blub, 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 and then bam.
Yep. Those damn things still work.
Oh, they do.
Yeah. Jitterbugs.
That's it, the jitterbug.
Yep. Arbogast jitterbugs. Yeah, some of that stuff, and then you go the other way. You get over on the California Delta, you have miles of reeds and
stick-ups.
Yeah, stuff in the water. I mean, you can spend a week over there just flipping jigs in the grass mats, flipping.
Popping the mat, punching the mat.
Punching.
I'll never forget that.
Well, that's something that you just learn stuff the hard way. I think that first came up at Amistad, out of Del Rio, Texas, and there's a lot of hydrilla down there.
What?
Hydrilla. It's an aquatic invasive weed.
Okay.
And they grow into mats. And again, they're not indigenous to South Texas. Some of the bucket biologists and the guys that knew everything thought, gee, it'd really be great to have some hydrilla in the lake.
No.
Well, they did, and it took over.
Yeah.
And so that's where the
issues.
Byron Velvik and some of the guys that were fishing down there, it used to be a huge big fish factory. And it's unfortunately it's gone the way a lot of some of our other lakes are. It's damn near dry. But you were punching mats with 1.5-inch weights.
Wow.
Yeah, get down there where the fish are. Ooh, yeah. All righty, we're going to stand down, take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk to the snapper. Yeah, Andy Manal.
Amen.
Mattress Depot, come on. Yeah. Hey, we'll be right back.
Cool indeed. If he sees me on the river, I'll be fishing up a creek. Kiss my back. Well, the morning's kinda damp. I'm not worried about cutting the grass. Left my truck at the boat ramp and my boat is full of gas. My old boss thinks I'm sick today. He won't have me to harass. 'Cause I'm out here.
All righty, a little Andy Manal music. What's happening, Andy?
Hey, Don, how's it going?
Man, we're rooting for you and all the other pros, and we got Bill Ruley up there throwing a hammer shad, just getting down, man. How are you finding Meade?
Well, actually, it's funny you mentioned Bill. I saw Bill way up there at Napoleon's Tomb 2 days ago, or actually yesterday, and it rained so hard. I saw Bill going across 6-foot waves in that champion boat of his, and I was pretty proud of him. I didn't have enough guts, but he did.
Yeah, go Bill.
Yeah, he just. I hope his back. I hope he took some Advil last night because that was a nasty, nasty storm the other day. Holy
nice.
I'm sitting up here at the houseboat, Don. It's 70 degrees. We got the doors open on the houseboat. It's raining outside. And I'm watching Mike Folkstad do all the tricks of the trade with his terminal tackle. I'm actually in heaven right now, learning a lot.
You need to film that and get that up onto YouTube.
Well, I don't think this information is allowed to leave the houseboat.
No, I wouldn't think so. Well, you seem to be in damn good company. Have you got your game plan all figured out?
Yeah, got a pretty good pattern. Got a couple of different things going on. So I think it should turn out to be a pretty decent tournament. The guys are catching some really, really good bags, and then everybody else is about all the, just a small limit, maybe 6.5, 7 pounds. But somebody's going to whack their lights out on one of these days. But I don't think it's going to be a day 3 tournament. It's Lake Mead, the U.S. Open is definitely not won on day 1. You can shoot yourself in the foot on day 1, but it's a 3-day grind.
Yeah, that's tough having to ration your bites and ration your stops up there, most definitely.
Well, actually just fishing. There's a lot of fish. You're catching 40, 50 fish days, but the keepers, it's just hard to get them keepers to bite. If you get 7 or 8 keeper bites, you're in great shape.
Bam, yeah. Who's in your camp? Who's the biggest threat?
Oh, definitely Mikey. I think Mikey was struggling in practice, but I think he kind of figured him out here this last day. He normally does. So Mikey's going to be the guy to beat. And then we talked to Aaron last night on the way into the restaurant, and Aaron said he was doing okay, but you know, Aaron Martin's tough to. We got the Angler of the Year for the BASS Elite Series fishing against us out here at Meade, so he's going to be another tough threat.
Well, you know, we've got the best of our Arizona guys up there, and Cliff's up there, Murray's up there. Any thoughts on those two guys?
I haven't seen John. I saw John on the water a couple of times, but actually, I was fishing. Me and Rick Klum were probably piggybacking each other all day long yesterday. I don't know if he thought I was following him or if I thought he was following me. So we were running the same stuff, so it'll be interesting to see how he does and how I do, because we were both practicing the same stuff pretty much all day yesterday.
Well, I got to give you guys a head up. The bosses got the beamer all cocked and locked, and she's on the way. So
keep your heads down, boys.
Yeah, polish your reels and comb your hair.
We got to start behaving now. The boss is coming, so we got to tighten up the helm here, and we'll be all right.
How many pounds a day is it going to take to win this thing, Andy?
Well, last year, if you had 30 pounds for 3 days, you were in the top 5, and I think 33 won it. So I'm going to say that 35 would be the over-under odds for Las Vegas right now.
That's a lot of fish.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. So, well, we're going to wish you well and give our regards to the rest of the Labina team. You got a lot of good guys there. Has Carson Sims showed up yet?
You know what? I haven't seen that tall drink of water yet, but I'm sure he'll be out there somewhere.
Well, I'm gonna be anxious to see what he does with that new tilapia suave.
Yeah, it should be interesting. Carson's a hell of a fisherman. He caught some big fish last year, and I guarantee you he'll be up there for big fish honors this year again too.
Andy, we've been kicking techniques back and forth. What's your line choice, just out of curiosity, throwing your McDowell RX?
The top water, I'm throwing a 35-pound braid married to a 12-pound monofilament leader, and the leader's about 6 feet long.
And what action a rod?
I'm using a 6/8 Loomis NRX medium with a Shimano Chronarch 50, which is a lefty reel, and I got some Boca bearings spooled up in there, so I get about an extra 20 feet of a cast out of a stock reel. With those Boca bearings, I'm able to get that reel Rico out there just a little bit longer,
Bam.
Which allows me about an extra 7 or 8 twitches, and it makes all the difference.
Good stuff, man. I hope you do well. Any word on Chris Ritchie? What's his whereabouts?
Chris is somewhere up in the northwest, and he's doing his thing. Everybody knows his thing, but I think we'll see him on the tournament trail next year. He's itching to get back in the saddle with the boys.
I bet he is. All right, hey, we're going to wish you well, Andy. God love you. Do well. Keep your head in the game and be safe.
Don, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on, and go Team Rico.
Yeah, go, man, go. Hey, if you start having a tough time, throw the hammer, Shad.
I knew that was coming.
All righty, we're out of here. Andy McDowell, Mattress Depot, good guy, good sport, good fisherman, and he's like the Mr. Hollywood of the Rico team.
Oh, really?
Got the hair thing going on, the glasses, you know. He's always styling.
Oh, yeah.
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 And then, Rick Klun, Mike Folstad. Mike is, without a doubt, one of the nicest gentlemen ever on the circuit. I mean, you take him out of the fishing derby, and he's a good guy.
So Jennifer's going up to have a lot of eye candy with her. Yeah,
these guys are a handful.
I don't doubt that.
I can't say enough about Rick Klun's ability. BASS did Who's Your Favorite Angler, and nationally Rick Klun came in as the grandpa. bass fishing. He's won the Open. Rick is he's another guy. You know, these guys they're soft spoken, they're quiet. They'll talk to you. The interesting thing is they'll tell you the truth. I mean, they're beyond the mind games.
Yeah.
John Murray's another one like that. But a lot of these guys, they get it. You can't, you know, if I tell you what I was using, where I was using it, and what time I was using it,
I still couldn't duplicate
You can't go catch those fish.
No.
You can't. You may not be able to duplicate that technique. You might. It's the next day. Stuff changes.
Yeah.
You know, stuff changes in too many times. We start off in the barometric pressure and weather conditions, water conditions, and this, that, and 14 other things at safe light. By 10 o'clock in the morning, it could be flip-flopped 180 degrees from where it was, and Bill hit it. You have to be adaptable. You have to be, it's like you being in the woods, you have to be one with nature.
I understand that one.
You have to, you get to the point where you can feel the barometric pressure drop in millibars, which sounds just absolutely stupid because it's hard to measure, but you can feel it.
You know something's different.
So, yeah. Yep. And you watch the birds, you watch, you know, some of our lakes, you can see the ant. I don't know if the only thing at Lake Mead's burrows. So, yeah. Yeah. We'll talk to the Wildlife Service about those guys. I think they're outside their protected range.
I know they are, and we want burrows.
Yeah, burrito burrows. So it's all good, and I agree with Andy. I think it's going to take 12 to 14 pounds.
A day.
Yeah. And
you watch, it's going to come in over 40 based on the weather.
It very well could. It could be just a monumental.
All right, let's make a bet today. I say over 35.
Well, yeah, that's where I am. Yeah, I'm like.
No, we need conflict.
I'll pin mine down. Let's go 36. 36 to 38.
All right, and I'll do.
Well, you can stay there. It's a good bet. These guys are betting on the same thing.
All right, we're betting a bagel.
Yeah.
Okay.
With peanut butter.
No. Thank you. No.
All righty. Hey, next up, our master rod builder, James Guggenauer from downtown Payson, Rim Country Custom Rods on the Roosevelt in Rim Country Fishing Report. We're going to talk about some wolf updates. You need to know about it. I'm Don McDowell with
John Colazar.
He's got an elk tag. We'll be right back.
Let me go.
All righty, we're back. Brother Guggenauer from downtown Payson, where the weather is
always
moist.
Yeah, moist.
You a little damp up there today, James?
Yes, a little damp, Don. It was raining when I got up about 5, and it's kind of tapered off here, but a nice cold morning. It was 61 degrees this morning.
Nice. Are the bulls squalling?
Oh, yeah.
They're going crazy this morning.
I was up on the Sholo Plateau. It was moist up there. Great day. It's difficult to drive down to the desert when you have all of the greenery and the forest and a little overcast, a little moisture. Man, it was hard to come back to the desert.
Yeah, I understand that.
A lot of stuff going on the fishing report. We've been talking to some of the fellows up at the Lake Mead at the WON U.S. Open. Clifford up there, John Murray. We've got 8 of the Labina pros, including Rick Klund and Mike Folkstad. So, whoever's fishing against those guys, they have got their hands full. Do you have a favorite pick for there?
I really don't. As long as it's an Arizona guy, I much don't care. I've talked to a few guys from here in Payson that are fishing as co-anglers up there, and they were also talking about the storms that Andy was referring to. But they're mostly saying it looks like a strong top water bite. And the good news with that is probably in a week or two, we'll be seeing that strong top water bite on Roosevelt. So that's what's exciting for me.
Well, here's the problem. A lot of these guys don't know there's a top water bite going on because they're not throwing their Rico. Go figure. All righty, let's get to the Rim Country Fishing Report this week. What's going on?
Well, a couple of things. We're starting out this week with a reminder that this Thursday, September 12th, at 6 p.m., there's going to be a talk here in Payson by Mr. Steve Smith, who's a rancher and a guide. And he's going to be talking about the expansion of the wolf program, the wolf recovery program in northern Arizona. And we're inviting everybody from Rim Country to attend that. People from the valley, if you come up to Rim Country to hunt, you probably need to come to this meeting and hear what's going on. It's going to be a good talk.
By the way, James, that is a proposed rule change that the Fish and Wildlife Service is wanting to put into effect, and we're in the comment period. So people have an opportunity to voice their thoughts on what they are hearing, what they're seeing, whether or not they want to have more Mexican gray wolves, whether they want to expand the range or not, and the logical reasons why they do or do not want to have them.
Correct, J.K. And I think that's going to be covered at the meeting, and I know Don's planning on coming up, and maybe he'll get a chance to say a few words about that also.
Well, we've got up on the Shake, Rattle, and Troll website the Big Game Forever comment link. It takes about 60 seconds to click that on, tell them what you're thinking about. As well, what we're going to do for that meeting with Steve Smith is we'll have some Big Game Forever comment cards that the folks can fill out. We'll send those to Ryan Benson to take back to Congress. The good news is they're going to pull a card out of the box. Somebody's going to win a new quality firearm.
Nice.
That'll be an exciting deal for sure.
By the way, James, just so you know, I've read a lot of the comments that have already been submitted to the Fish and Wildlife Services. It's running about 100 to 1 where they want more wolves rather than less. And that's because sportsmen, hunters, and fishermen haven't been paying enough attention or haven't taken the time or energy to comment. And all the little city folks who never get off their backsides but sit there with their keyboards and look at pictures of wolves want more. So just to let everybody know, it's running that way right now.
I hope we can reverse that trend because at least wherever these wolves have been, it sure sounds like it has been a major impact to the elk and deer herds.
Well, in the next couple of days, again, back on the SRT website, we've got a bad wolf icon. That would be a lot of information on there about the gray wolves, about the Mexican grays, about what some of the Apache County specifically has done to take control of that, and a lot of other good information on there. So anyway, we'll talk about that later time.
Good deal.
Let's talk about fishing.
Okay, let's do it. Hey, let me start with the lake level. We are at 44% full, and it has been at that level for the last little over 2 weeks now, and that's mainly due to the monsoons and keeping the watershed for the Roosevelt Lake pretty full. This morning, the Salt River is flowing at about 400 cubic feet per second. The Tonto end has slowed down considerably. It's less than 10 cubic feet per second. But more water coming into the lake is always a good thing, and hope the storms we're getting here will continue with that. The temperature changed this week. We've been saying that in the morning it's been the low 80s, increasing to the mid-80s in the afternoon. So that's different than last week where we were in the mid-80s in the afternoon to the high 80s. So we're starting to see the effects of fall, and I think that's going to continue over the next couple of weeks. We've got some more indications that fall bass fishing is coming, and that is that the topwater bite, which hasn't been talked about the last couple of weeks, was back on the radar screen this week. So when those bass start to school up in the fall, like they appear to be doing up on Lake Mead this week, that's always an indication that it's going to get hot in a hurry. The bass fishing is going to get hot in a hurry. So looking forward to that. There's still guys fishing crankbaits. That's also a good sign for fall fishing. Main lake points, 25 to 30 feet of water. And that top water bite, I heard two baits. I heard earlier you guys talking about the clear Rico. That was one of the baits that was mentioned. The other was a babies or a spook.
Oh, yeah. In the clear?
In the clear. Both
James, you need to call me. before you do your fishing report, there's two things we don't talk about.
Yeah.
That's the clear Rico and the clear spook, especially the little ones. James.
Two good baits. I am unbiased. I don't fish a tournament, so I just tell people what I'm being told. So it's a good deal.
The conduit of pertinent information from the rim country.
And here now, the news. Clear Ricos. Okay.
Hey, two other techniques is the sun gets higher and the day goes on. If the water gets flat, guys are going to a drop shot and a Carolina rig. Still fishing those even in late summer kind of patterns, and that'll probably continue for the next couple of months even as the fall pattern picks up. But we're back to telling people to watch out in the deeper water for bass chasing shad up on the surface. And if you see that, you need to get on it as soon as you can.
Those would be the wolf packs.
Those would be the wolf packs. And then, hey, Don, another trick that an old-time fisherman told me, you were talking about the falling barometric pressure.
Mm-hmm.
He said, watch the range cattle.
Yes.
If you see range cattle all of a sudden lay down, it's because the pressure's coming down.
Right. Exactly.
So watch those cattle on the shoreline.
Yeah, we've over the years drawn some correlations. As especially Roosevelt. Roosevelt, you see a lot of stuff. Sometimes you're looking at deer, John.
Right.
We're on the North Shore. A lot of cattle over there, and between the birds, the wildlife, and the livestock, you can get a pretty good gauge of what's going on. And then I don't take them in the boat with me. I'll look at the moon and sun phases. And they have peak hours and not so peak hours.
Right.
But generally afterwards, I don't want to lose my focus and start looking at theory while I'm supposed to be catching fish. But at the end of the day, you can get into one of the moon phases and see how correct those are. And a lot of times they're fairly close.
I always believed in the moon phase for eating, particularly for wildlife. I mean, I believe that they hit, they strike, they feed, they do whatever, and they follow that pattern in terms of the time of the moon.
Fish do pretty much the same thing. What else, James?
Moon phases and tides, yes. Hey,
nice.
Let me talk about the trout stockings up here, because some of the trout stockings have ended now in northern rim country, like the East Verde, Christopher Creek, and Hagler Creek. Those stockings have ended at the end of August. However, some of them, like the Tonto Creek and most of the rim lakes, are still getting stocked. So we told everybody, go check the azgfd.org website. You can click on the stockings, and you can see exactly which lakes and streams are being stocked. But having said that, we're telling people that now's probably the best time to go trout fishing. We have less crowds up here, and there are lots of good bonus trout still left in the lakes and the streams up here. If JK, if you're coming up to hunt, bring a fishing rod with you. You might need it in the afternoon.
I have bad news for you, James. We get up at 2:30 to 3 o'clock. We're out in the woods by 4. We're hunting till 10. Back for lunch and a quick nap, and then back out in the woods by 3.
When do you fish?
Yeah, that's it. That's the key. I'd love to, but
you forgive the nap and go fishing.
Well, you're going to miss out on some good fishing then. That's all I can say.
You know what? If I get a bull opening day, I guarantee you I will be fishing on Saturday.
Nice. All right. James, God bless you. We will see you on Thursday. What's the address there at the Shoot from the Heart at the Mountain Bible Church?
It's on Rancho Road. It's 303 East Rancho Road. If you're going north through Payson, before you get to the first roundabout, Rancho Road is on the right. You go down there about a quarter mile. It's on the north or the left side of the street.
All righty. We will see you there. Come on up, guys. Learn about the wolves from Rancher Guide Steve Smith. I'm Don McDowell.
John Colazar.
We'll be right back. All righty, we're getting mellow music. That means this is about over, John.
Yeah, but the week is just beginning.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. It's going to be hairball week, let's say. When are you heading out?
My youngest son shows up at 2:00 on Thursday afternoon at the airport, and as soon as his butt's in the vehicle, we're on our way.
Bingo. Okay, and you'll be flinging arrows at first light Friday morning?
I will be singing the melodic tunes of bull elk.
Okay. How long's your hunt?
I've got 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yep. 14 days.
Well, it's kind of like what the boys were faced with. You have 2 weeks to get off one shot.
Mm-hmm. One good shot.
Yeah. They have 3 days to catch 15 fish.
I like my odds a lot better. And I'm not in competition, so if somebody comes in with a bigger one, it doesn't mean I have to walk away.
The competitor you're facing is you.
Oh, I know him
just
very well.
like them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen the enemy, and it is I.
True statement. A couple things I wanted to brief over very quickly at the commission meeting yesterday. Chief Cantrell talked about 12 proposed amendments to the fishing regulations for 2014, and they passed. Increased the possession limit to twice the daily bag limit per species at both statewide lakes and special regulated waters. I think the big thing that's going to help the crappie on Bartlett and Roosevelt, we had an unlimited.
We don't anymore.
15 crappie. Talked about some special regulations for daily bag limits at newly designated urban fishing waters. That was a good deal. Designate all catch and release trout waters, artificial lures, barbless hooks, and flies only. That doesn't affect me necessarily.
No.
A lot, but...
Can you imagine a bass on a barbless hook?
Let's see. One that I really had to go over was reduce the general statewide daily bag limits for white amur, the grass carp, from unlimited to one fish, 30-inch minimum.
Really?
Yeah.
Unlimited to one?
One, yeah. Grass carp.
And it's a carp.
They're a good thing. Goldwater Lake, some special regulations there. One bass, minimum size length of 13 inches. Little activity on the round-tailed chub. That has to be catch and release only, minimum 13 inches. I don't know of anybody that fishes for a round-tailed chub.
And all of these went into effect the 1st of September, correct? It was 90 days after signing day?
Something like that, yeah. Let's see. Consolidate fishing regulations on the Colorado River from the I-40 bridge south to the international boundary with Mexico. That one you'll have to look into. There's some changes on that. One that was shot down was to designate spear and spear gun fishing for striped bass on the Colorado River.
Do they actually have people diving with spear guns?
Yeah, there's a movement, John. I'm telling you, it's just like, it's another special interest group. One of the guys that owns a dive shop, and I'm a master diver myself. I don't get it. Well, I understand it. They want to go down and they want to shoot everything they see. So,
what's the clarity level on the bottom of those things? Is it pretty good?
Well, yeah. Well, yes and no. Depends on what you're used to. I mean, if you're used to doing black water dives and that kind of stuff, Pleasant's a good lake to dive. 25 feet of water you can see, 15, 20 feet. Mm-hmm. Saguaro Lake, you get to 40 feet, you can't see your hand in front of your face. Wow. I have made extrication dives at Saguaro. There's a Bluebird school bus in about 85 feet of water. You go down and put mannequins in there, and you have to go
get them out.
Extricate the mannequins. And yeah, there's some big fish down there. And then one of the other ones that there was an awful lot of controversy on, the carp bow fishermen went head-to-head with the cat fishermen, and a compromise was made that there will be a 5-fish catfish limit
for the bow hunters.
For the bow hunters on Roosevelt, Apache Canyon, and Saguaro. And that regulation will sunset in December of 2016. However, I think we're going to take a look at the overall impact of catfishing here in Arizona, and hopefully Bobby and Andy can join us next weekend to get into the intricacies. We have a world-class flathead fishery here in Arizona. The Arizona Catfish Conservation Association is pretty keyed in on it. They understand what we've got. They've been interviewed and filmed by Duck Dynasty.
Really?
Yeah, Holly was looking at the boys out here. We've got big fish.
Yeah.
I talked to Flathead Ed, should be in studio with us next week, if we have a next week. So I'm real serious. I've been missing a lot of fishing, and let's just say it's time, because if I don't get over there, they're going to be gone. And
you know, I think it would be a really good trade-off. I was teasing you earlier, but I want to go out there someday. But if next weekend you get to go west and I head a little bit east, and we both bring back, we could have a hellacious surf
Think about
turf.
this. You got elk steaks on the grill.
Yep.
You got some tuna fillets on the grill.
Oh, wouldn't that be awesome?
No vegetables. And a nice cold beer.
You just had the topper, a nice cold beer.
Yeah. Well, you know, if they could start making beer out of broccoli, I'd be in good shape. You know.
Yeah, me too. Beer out of broccoli.
Let's just say.
Cabernet out of corn, yeah.
Yeah, you got to eat your vegetables one way or the other. Yeah. So it's all good. What's your strategy going into your hunt?
Dave Bruns has been up there for the last few days already. He'll be up there for 30 straight days.
He's up there pre-fishing for you?
Yeah, he's pre-fishing. Yeah, that's one good way of putting it. But he's said that they're stacking up like cordwood up there now.
Okay, explain that to the listeners.
Typically up in 3A, 3C, a lot of the bulls come off the reservation because the cows and calves have been up in the greener areas along 3C all summer long. And as the breeding season comes in, the bulls start coming in from the reservation. Once they do their dirty deeds and take care of all their harems and all the cows are bred, they drop back off. They head back over the reservation boundary fence and they drop it. And there's a significant drop off in elevation. And they get into some of those places where bulls need to be after a hunt, and that is where food, water, and cover, they don't have to move more than 50 yards at any point during the day, and they don't. They stay there. So that's
We've got a couple of
zone.
minutes. We've been talking how you prepare yourself going into a tournament, all that kind of stuff. Do you do anything special to prepare oneself for going head-to-head with a 1,000-pound animal with some horns that's got a bad attitude and wants to breed?
Yeah, the one thing that I've noticed is, for me, every morning is to pay attention to wind. Whatever direction the wind is at, those bulls are going, and the cows always the cows lead the way. I mean, the bulls may herd the cows, but the lead cow is the one that you have to watch.
She's the lookout.
She's the lookout, and she knows everything because she's usually the most experienced. Self-preservation plays a key, and if you watch, they'll feed into the wind going back to their bedding area. And then what you want to do is make sure that your ambush route is somewhere between where she's going to and make sure they don't detour.
What's your technique? Spot and stalk, tree stand?
I am
laying in the road, playing dead. What?
I am all spot and stalk. And basically what I'll do is we'll get out at 3:30 in the morning and listen for that hour and a half, find a location, try and measure which direction they're heading, and then once first light comes, be ready and set up. And at that point, it's all calling them in. My sons are going to call for me, and we've got a Montana decoy, which is perfect, and we're going to see how well they work.
A Montana decoy, life size?
It's a 3D life-size cow-elk decoy, and supposedly if they can see it, they'll come in like they're on a rope.
I'll tell you what, my son did that to me a couple of years ago. We were up on an elk hunt, and he wanted a nap, and I didn't want a nap, so I took a soiree through the woods. Well, about 100 yards out from camp, he set up a decoy.
Ooh.
I spent the next hour and 15 minutes sneaking up on that decoy. Yeah. When I figured out what it was, I should have hit it with a 180 grain silver tip.
Yep, that'll do it.
A couple times, but all righty, hey man, thanks for joining us. Give our Arizona pros
a big hoorah.
Yeah, do it, man. They're up there slugging it out with the best of the best, and we'll keep you posted on what's happening next week on the Shake, Rattle, and Pro website. Check that out. You need to weigh in on the wolf issue. There's some information there you need to know about AZGFD and the Arizona Sportsman for Wildlife Conservation Group, their letter of resolution and suggestions to the game department. JK, God love you, man. Hope to see you up there in the woods. If not, Hope to bring you back a yellowtail.
Yeah, you bring me the yellowtail, I'll bring you the steaks.
Nice. Liver and onions and yellowtail. Ooh, yeah.
Well, that's right. I got to bring you the liver.
Yeah.
I got to do that. I will do that.
All righty, man. We're going to get out of here. Take your kids fishing. Hug your bass boat. Swim with Soldier. I'm Don McDowell.
John Colazar.
We are out of here.